And I think I've hit all the buttons. Yes, I've hit all the buttons. I have green lights flashing, which means I must be on the internets. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday and all that jazz, wherever you're tuning in from. Time-appropriate greetings. It's Saturday. And we're just going to stay home and make mods this weekend, guys. Stay in the house. Stay in your bunker. Make mods. I will have to jump off here momentarily. I'm just waiting for the coffee because the coffee is very, very important. Without the coffee, the stream does not go. And just bad timing on my part. I started the boiling the water much too late for it to be ready, so I will have to jump off probably about another 5 minutes or so. Grab the coffee. Let's see. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys can hear me. I was too lazy to do a test stream, so I'm assuming that this is going out. I see it on the YouTubes, and hope everybody's doing well. I see Muito Xbox. Hello, Tap Gaming. How's it going, man? Good to see you. John Wick was here early, very early. And is this going to work here? Hang on a minute. Nope, I do not have my meme set up for my desktop view, so I was going to give John Wick the Snickers meme, but I don't have the meme set up for this, so apologies, John. But you still get the get the bite-sized Snickers for being the first one in the chat. So congratulations. And TC Gaming, how you doing, man? 2 Fallout streams in a row, TC. Are you bored? It's good to see you, man. The world is ending in the upstreaming. Hey, what else you going to do? You got to party like it's 2077, man. But it's good to see you, TC. Glad you could join us. Russ Harper, Sebastian, hello, and Jinja Ninja, hello from the cave in Scotland. Yeah, this is the cave in upstate New York. 3 hours from New York City, where all the fun in the U.S. is happening right now. But I am isolated and safe, and I hope to stay that way. So we're going to stay home and make mods. And I don't want to get too far into things here because I will have to jump off and get the coffee. Because otherwise there will be no stream. You're probably saying, this isn't the Fallout 4 creation kit? No, this is the Fallout New Vegas GEC. This is the GEC. Yes. It looks like a bunch of my stuff has disappeared in here, too. Yeah. I may have to relaunch the GEC. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. When I have a lot of things going on in the background, things kind of disappear from the render window in the GEC. So, let's just quit that. And we'll hide that for a second. We'll relaunch the GEC. TC says, new in my place and no people yet. Well, that's good. Keep it that way. Yeah, I don't know why the GEC does this. The Fallout 3 GEC does this too. I just opened it too, like right before I started streaming, so I'm not sure why it does that. Things will just randomly disappear from the cell you have loaded. Everything just goes away, and I don't quite understand why. I don't know if it's a memory thing, because it is old, creaky program. But, yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Tap Gaming says, can hear you, and yes, coffee is super important. Oh, you betcha. Without the coffee, the stream does not go. It's very, very important. So yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit of work on a new player home mod I'm working on. And nothing exciting, just going to add some clutter, get some lights working, and just chill, drink coffee, hang out, and make mods. Not sure how long I'm going to stream for, maybe till around lunchtime, but we'll see. I may have to take a quick break and grab something to eat before too long, because again, I was lazy. Was lazy and didn't eat a proper breakfast. Where's my GEC here? There we go. I have a second monitor here with all my cell view. I'll drag it over here. What we're gonna go do is open up the. This is Fallout New Vegas GEC. It's the old school creation kit. I've opened up the mod A World of Pain, and we are gonna open the Ryman's Bunker cell because that is what my new player home is based on. Ryman's Bunker is a cell in the Fallout New Vegas mod. Well, actually, World of Pain has two versions. There's a version for Fallout 3 and for New Vegas. Each one is probably my favorite mod for its respective game. And it's really influencing a lot of the stuff I've been doing lately. So, Ryman's Bunker is... hey, Chris, how you doing? You're back again. Good to see you, man. Glad you could join us. I'm just bantering a little bit while I'm waiting for the coffee to finish brewing, so... Oh, actually, hang on a second. There we go. It's coffee time. I'll be right back. Alright, we have the coffees, and all is right with the world. So yeah, Ryman's Bunker, it's technically it is a player home in the World of Pain for New Vegas, and I just really think this is an awesome cell. DJ Mistro, the author for both versions of World of Pain, is just so awesome at level design and layout. Very, very much influencing all the stuff I'm doing lately. For a long time, I've been wanting to recreate this cell in Fallout 4, and that is what I'm doing with this new player home. So, I wanted to show you guys what we're working from here. I've pretty much copied the layout as best I can, including the entranceway, which is basically inside of a cave. And we'll go take a look at that shortly. In the New Vegas mod, you have to go through a cave, fight some enemies, and then you get access to the player home. And the same thing is going to be in my mod. There's going to be a cave you have to go through, an interior dungeon cell, fight some enemies, gain access to the home that way. And I think it'll be pretty cool. It's been fun to work on. But I am recreating the layout and as much of the object placement as I possibly can. Within reason, because a lot of these assets are not in Fallout 4, unfortunately. But the mod author, Khalib Gaddafi, has been gracious enough to let me utilize some of his assets, and he is the author behind the Enclave Remnants Bunker mod. And he's recreated for Fallout 4, things like the Enclave crates. Those wonderful Enclave crates that you see in the older games. The utility doors here, those are all going to be in the mod. And some of his other assets. Terminals, the bunker entrance. He's let me use all that stuff for my project, so big shout out and thank you to Khalib Gaddafi for that. Check out his YouTube channel. Probably should link it in the description, shouldn't I? Yeah, I probably should. He is on the Nexus, Enclave Remnants Bunker mod. He's done an Enclave armor. It's basically recreates the power armor from the older games. It's not actually power armor, it's like an actual suit. But it looks like the old power armor. It's pretty damn cool. So he's letting me use a bunch of his assets. So it's really helped me capture the look and feel of this cell. So I've gone and recreated, we'll get to that in a second, a lot of the textures I'm recreating. Like this, in the deck here. The blue and the tan, I think this is called the facility kit, the facility room. I've recreated those textures. There's a hallway that goes with it that has some really cool wainscoting on it. And I think that's over, yeah, that's over here. You guys probably remember these textures too when you play Fallout 3 in New Vegas. It's used in a lot of the office buildings. Yeah, here it is. With this wainscoting on it, I've replicated that. A lot of the floor tiling. I've actually found some unused textures in Fallout 4 that replicate a lot of these floor tiles. I'm using that. And the kitchen and bathroom area in this mod uses the lab kit from the Point Lookout DLC. It's all these tiling, this gray, dingy tiling that if you've ever played Point Lookout in Fallout 3, that's one of the last quest. I think it's the final quest of the game, the final confrontation, uses this. And I think this is the same kit that the basement of the Ultralux uses in New Vegas too. I think it uses these. So I replicated those, and those are used in the bathroom. And the tiles in here, I've kind of replicated those as well. And I'm just using those in the bathroom for my mod. But there's a lot of more work to do. But I just wanted to give you guys a rough idea of what I'm basing this new player home on. And then we'll jump over to the Fallout 4 version. This is the Fallout 4 creation kit. And there we are. We've got pretty much the same layout. Kitchen, the cave, ruined entrance area, sleeping quarters, hallway, the bathroom. This is going to be like a work area here. There's workbenches in there. And this is kind of like the main area where there's going to be power armor stations and like a med lab. And unlike the World of Pain version here, these are all basically teleporters that you can teleport to other interior cells, which I thought was really cool, but I didn't want to replicate that. That was going to be way too much work for a player home. So we're not going to do that. Actually, let me switch windows here. There we go. I just got to adjust some windows here because I have more windows in the second monitor than I normally have, and I don't want to cover up chat. So I'm not including the teleporters. I am actually including power armor bays, power armor stations rather. It's a little bit smaller, and I'm also including an entrance, actually an exit. but this will lead to the main door. The main door is actually here. And we'll go take a look at it in game. You'll enter the home here for the first time, but you can go in and out of this way if you want, but the actual main door is going to be out this hallway here. So I've added this. It's not in the original layout. Changed things up a little bit, but it's all pretty much... I really want to capture the look and feel of that original mod. So that's what we're working with. But I've gone and replicated those tiles as best I could. Just kind of retextured some of the subway tile sections and applied them to, what is this, the WLP small wall set. Just a material swap, but I've redone all the textures for that. And these textures were actually unused tiles in the Fallout 4 texture set. So we're using those. And these 4 tiles are actually a set of the vault floor, the ruined vault floor. I've kind of done some work on these. I think these are set to... Oh, these are the WLP set too. But the texture is actually based on the vault tiles. And they've kind of got different colors. I've covered up some of the sections that indicate missing tiles a little bit. And then for the... Oh, I just turned the collision markers on. Don't want that. For the walls here, there's that beautiful wainscoting. I've replicated that. And that's all... The relief and everything is all in the normal map. It's all flat. It's just this simple WLP vanilla mesh. I just applied a material swap to it. So all the wainscoting, the shadowing, it's all in the diffuse map and the normal map. It looks 3D in game, but it's really not. It's fake. But it looks pretty cool in game. We'll go check that out. And in here, I've replicated that blue and yellow tan for the rooms with the peeling paint. That is all set. In here, this is going to be a workroom. You'll have armor displays, weapon displays, armor workbench, and weapons workbench. And like all my other player homes, everything is linked to shared storage. So you can put all your junk and stuff into a workbench, and it'll be shared. All the resources will be shared through every workbench in the cell. And here's one of those Enclave crates by Khalib Gaddafi. I am using quite a few of those. The utility doors, it's all going to be... It's probably the most old school mod I've made to date. And I'm really having fun with this. Recreating all these old assets. Trying to make things like the good old days. It is going to have a designated cryolator storage. This will be where your cryolator sorts to, because I'm going to have the sorting containers. All the bells and whistles that I've had in my other mods, except for the last few I did, like the boxcar cottage and the courier stations mod, were pretty much no frills, no fancy gizmos, none of that fancy scripted stuff. Well, this one's going to have all the bells and whistles. It's going to have the sorting container. It's going to have the auto dock, which cures your addictions, restores health, removes rad. It's going to have the water purifier, the fusion core charger, trash compactor, all that stuff. And you will be able to swap out the armor mannequins, male or female, which is something I want to do today on stream. We'll set these up. I'll set up a terminal to swap those out. But I think... oh, here's the... it's basically just like a security room, but Khalib Gaddafi's old school Fallout 3 mainframe. And the terminal, this is an actual terminal. You can go and use this to be the mainframe terminal. From this, you'll be able to control several house functions, including upgrades. Along the lines of what I did with, which one was the subway safe house? You go to a terminal. You'll be able to craft, well, I'm using air quotes, craft. You'll be able to enable certain upgrades like the magazine racks, the bobblehead stand, Nuka-Cola display, and a model robot shelf display. Model robot kit display shelf. That's what I'm trying to say. If you have certain combination of components in your inventory, you'll be able to enable those from this terminal. And I'm probably going to have it where you can build turrets on the exterior. because I'll show you where the exterior is going to be. I think some bubble turrets outside would be fitting, so I'm thinking of adding that as an optional upgrade that you can enable from this terminal. And I'm also adding one of the commissary terminals that I've used in the past, so you'll be able to come to this terminal and buy, sell, trade, just like you were talking to an actual NPC, because you kind of are. This is actually linked to a vendor terminal, or a vendor NPC in this cell here. This lonely little guy is the actual vendor. I modeled this after the commissary terminals in the New Vegas Lonesome Road DLC. Have all these commissary terminals that you can access things through, because there's no vendors in the Divide in that DLC. So this replicates that. The commissary terminal basically just enables that guy's, and his only role is just sit in that cell in the dark. There's no lights or anything. Enables his barter menu with a script, simple script. Just opens the barter menu on him, and you can access his inventory. So when you're actually come to the terminal and you're buying and selling, you're actually trading with that guy in that lonely little cell in the dark. So just so you know, the sacrifices that he's going to be making. So that's the purpose of this room. Oh yeah, I'm going to be using some of Khalib Gaddafi's Enclave assets, the tables, the chairs, just to kind of give it that old school feel, because I really miss that stuff. So first thing I want to do today is we're going to go into the bathroom. Yes, we're going to go to the bathroom. I watched Rocket TVs, and the first thing he did was he went to the bathroom. I want to add the lights to this. This is kind of set. I have a chem station in here. This is will be the the aid and chem storage, and the clutter here will be enabled by default. So when you... Yes, he's practicing social distancing. Exactly, Chris. He's going to be a healthy, safe vendor, practicing his social distancing in a distant cell. The clutter here will be initially disabled, so when you add aid or chem items into this container, well, actually this is just a static object and it's linked to a container, which I believe is... Where's the container for this? Oh, it's actually the other part of the cell. Because I have a couple of these. I have another shelf like this in the med bay area, and these are all going to be linked to a common container. It's really simple. There's just an activator trigger here, which I have to move because I moved this. Activator trigger with the default linked reference on activate script. This little script here, it's a default script. If you can attach it to anything really, but I use it on these trigger activator boxes. You link it, do a linked ref to a container, and this is just a chem state. I think it's like a first aid kit. This is what the sorting container uses, or the sorting script uses this container to sort your chem and aid items to, which it's literally just a first aid kit. Oh, view reference. Actually, it's not a first aid kit. It's this locker that's off in the middle of nowhere. It's actually near this. It's near this right here. Actually, I'm probably going to move this so that when you open the container, here you'll hear the actual locker open and close. So those are all basically just linked to this container here. Your items actually get stored in here, but when aid or chem items get put in the container, it activates the clutter in the shelves, so you get the impression that you're actually putting the stuff in the container. So that's how that works. The auto dock script is pretty much the same as my older player homes. I think I've used the auto dock in Listening Post Zulu and Coastal Cottage Bunker. I have reworked the Cure Addiction script a little bit. Actually, I have to open this up here. The Cure Addiction script works a little bit differently. If I just find the box for this here. And my script for that. So the old script would just apply a range of It would cast a range of remove addiction spells. And it works great. It works exactly the way it's supposed to. It cures every addiction that it's tasked with. The problem with it is it doesn't cure the dark craving. If you take the cannibal perk and you get the dark craving, it doesn't cure that. And it doesn't cure addictions added by mods, such as the Nuka-Cola addiction from Wasteland Imports, if you're using that. And I'm actually working on a standalone Nuka-Cola addiction mod, because I'm not going to be using Wasteland Imports in my next playthrough, but I still want the Nuka-Cola addiction to be a thing, so I'm working on a mod that makes that a standalone. You can become addicted to Nuka-Cola, Quantum, and Vim, and all the Nuka Roll flavors. You get a certain debuffs. So the old autodoc, the cure addiction script does not work with the dark cravings or addictions added by mods. So essentially what I've changed, it's really brain dead simple, is it essentially gives you a Dictol, because a Dictol cures everything. So what I did was I basically duplicated the Dictol, and now Cure Addiction on the autodoc silently equips you with an Addictol, a copy of a Dictol. I duplicated the Addictol potion, and it basically, the script just, I think it's down here, just equips you with the Addictol, and that's what removes the addiction. So now this will work with the dark craving and any addiction added by mods. Anything that Addictol uses, because it has a cure all addictions magic effect on it, which I didn't know existed when I made the other script. At some point I'll go back and update those so that it works the same way as this one. I was so happy to figure that out, because I know people have asked about curing the dark craving, and I don't know if that was a design choice I made early, I can't remember, or if I just didn't know how to make it work, but I know how to make it work now, so there we go. So I got sidetracked there, sorry for that. I want to get the lights going in the bathroom, because right now I just have lights in here as placeholders, just random light sources. I want to get actual functioning lights like the rest of the cells are going to have, and set up a light box, because right now you can kind of see, because the wonders of the creation engine, light bleeds through the walls there. You can kind of see right here where my cursor's going, and if you go in game, excuse me, right now, light's bleeding through there, and it's bleeding through this corner here. You can't really see it here. This doesn't represent it very well. But in game, there's a whole flood of light coming through this wall here. So we'll add a light box to fix that, which is one of the reasons when you're doing your settlement building in Fallout 4, you put a light downstairs in a shack, and then it bleeds through upstairs. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. You need a light box. Light box restricts the light sources that are linked to it, and you can't do those dynamically, so you'll never be able to get, as far as I know, you'll never be able to get those in workshop mode. You cannot add those dynamically. I know people have tried, and I don't think it can be done. It's an engine limitation, the way I understand it. So, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to set up the lights. I may not use these. I do want to have the warm lights in here, because I've been using cool and fluorescent in the rest of the cells, or in the rest of the rooms. I want this one to be a little different, so I think I'm going to use the warm lights in here, not necessarily these, which are the warm light, the 01. And I'm going to use mostly non-shadow light sources in this, just to keep performance issues to a minimum. Too many shadow light sources will make the game puke. So most of the lights in this mod are going to be non-shadowed. I do have a couple spotlights, and I may add another couple shadow light sources as I get further along, but for right now, we're going to stick with the non-shadowed for the rooms. We'll get the lights set up. We'll add actual light fixtures to the ceiling, a on and off state, and then we'll add on and off states for the trigger, or for the light switches. We're going to parent those to an enable marker, which is going to be triggered by a script on a trigger box, so that depending on the state of the enable marker will determine which state of the light fixtures and the light switch gets displayed. It's super simple. Doesn't take a whole lot to set up, but This is one of the last rooms. Actually, I got this room, the bedroom, which I've done absolutely nothing on the sleeping area here. It just has placeholder stuff in here for now. And the work bay, which I think is what we're probably going to work on next, because I still have a whole bunch of research to do for assets and things for what I want to put in here into the bedroom. There is going to be... Oh, this has to get moved here. This trigger box isn't quite long enough. There is going to be a bed for dog meat in here. At least one bed for dog meat in this room. And possibly somewhere else if I can figure out where I'm going to put it. But, yeah. Oh, the Nuka-Cola display recipe bookshelf. That is going to be another optional upgrade you can enable, but I don't think it's going to go there. I just wanted to get it so I could test it and make sure that that everything worked putting the books on. But it won't be there. A lot of what you see may change when the mod's actually finished. Generally what I do is I go through a cell and I just kind of lay stuff out. I take the hallway, this little reactor room here, which is just kind of just for show right now. It doesn't actually do anything. It may have functionality, it may not. I haven't decided yet. This stuff is set up pretty much exactly as Ryman's bunker is in World of Pain. So those are pretty much set. Those are done. The workroom area is pretty much done. I may add a little bit more clutter. And definitely going to add a little bit of clutter on the floors. I haven't gotten that far yet. And the little security room here, whoops, with the terminals and the commissary thing, this is pretty much set. Again, I may add some clutter, debris to the floors, but this is going to be previously lived in, obviously, so the people who lived here aren't going to be slobs. It's not going to be wasteland chic and have a whole bunch of crap all over the floor, but corners and things, there might be some dust, debris, but I haven't decided the level of that I want to do yet. But for now, let's actually do something and set up some lights. And for the other rooms, I've been using these fluorescent lights, but I think for this I want to use the subway lights, because if we go back into Ryman's bunker, and like I said, I'm trying to capture the look and feel of this cell as much as I possibly can, given the asset limitations that we have to work with. And the bathroom here uses these oh, actually, they're hospital lights. Interesting. Okay. Well, we don't have these hospital lights in Fallout 4. So the closest thing we have to these are some subway lights. And I think that's what we're going to use. And I just nudged that, but that's fine because I'm not saving this. So we have the filter for the sublights. Hanging wall. Let's take a look at this. I've got my preview window in the other window. That's not the one we want. I actually like some of the wasteland, the trash, but it's got to be where it makes sense. In some areas, it doesn't make sense. Like like if you're trying to do a location that, you know, you're one of the few people that have been there in, say, the past 5 years, it makes sense. But if it's something place where people have been living already, I mean, come on. Somebody's going to be out there with a broom and a bucket and a dustpan. Exactly. And in their infinite wisdom, they made Fallout 4. It's like, okay, we're going to give you these settlements to build your own fun in, but we're going to load them up with crap. And the only way to get rid of the crap is to literally break the game, because all the debris and everything is all pre-combined meshes. And if you want to get rid of it, you got to break your game to get rid of it. But yeah. So I think I'm going to use these for the ceiling lights in the bathroom. And the problem I have with these lights is they're kind of big. I usually scale these down to about, I think it's 75. Yeah, we're going to scale those down a little bit. The selection box for these in the CK is about 3 times of what it should be. So you'll be looking to... Yeah, see, I'm trying to select... There we go. You can kind of see this... I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen here. This outline, this light green line here, that's the hitbox for these damn lights in the creation kit. It's not the collision. If you toggle F4, the red outline here is the actual collision, but the selection box is this damn thing. And I don't know why the hell they're so big. The lockers, the vault lockers, have the same problem. You're selecting something off to the side and you're actually selecting this. It's annoying as hell. Hey Ventureson, how you doing? Glad you're enjoying the Let's Play. And apologies for not having any new episodes lately. It's a lot of work to put those together, and I just haven't had the time and or ambition coinciding to do what I need to do to make those. But they will be back. People have been asking me, is that it? Episode 64 it? Like, no. It takes a lot of prep work and a lot of time to get those together, and I just haven't had it. There's other priorities right now. And unfortunately, mod making has been one of them. Well, I'd say unfortunately. But, yeah. But glad you're enjoying those. There will be more episodes when I get to them. So, we have our on state. Let's duplicate those. And what I did is here, I'm just scrolling through the next one. So we have our off state. So let's push those off to the side. So I basically just duplicated, kind of slow here. Control D to duplicate. Hit the Alt key. You can scroll up and down, and you can scroll through the list of, basically just scrolling through the list in the object window. And I did them both at the same time. Just rewatch them. Oh, rerun. Yeah, our first season, we're already in the reruns. Got all the time in the world? No, I don't, man. I'm working from home. I still got to work. I still got to work my day job. And I'm finding that I thought I would have all the time in the world because of working from home, because I would be spending about an hour every day in the car during the commute. I'm finding that hour that I thought I was going to get back is actually I end up working. So I'm actually working more at home than I would if I was driving into the office. And I'm not, it's a big adjustment to get used to. I thought I would actually have more time, but actually seems it's working out that I have less. So, because I have one of those jobs that you think you're going to get done, you think you're going to be able to knock off early, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes before you're ready to shut your computer down, somebody wants something now. It's like Veruca Salt calls. But Daddy, I want this thing now. And you gotta give it to them now, because that's what you get paid for. MS day job making mods and live streaming and doing Skyrim mostly right now. That's cool. Yeah, I gotta get back into playing Skyrim. I don't dare think about making mods for it. I don't know the game well enough to want to make mods for it, but having fun playing it when I can. So we have our on and off state for the lights. I think I want to use some different lights for this. I don't really want this orangey. I want a warm glow to this room, but I don't really want that orange. So let's go see what else we have for light. Actually, before we do that, before we switch over to the lights, let's get our light switches. And I have my own light switches I'm using for this, which I've used in my other... Let's find them here if I can type. Gonna need more coffee here too. There we go. So we're going to use my bunker light switches here, which are just some mashups I copied together from vanilla assets and threw some glow maps on them. So we have the on state, which I think, what did I think I want to match the Z value for these so everything is at the same height. I think I had 107 on this one. Yeah, 107. I'm Russian, so the COVID-19 doesn't have... Oh, well, good luck. Hopefully you'll stay COVID-free. Oh, that was pretty close. But yeah, I have all my friends from Europe are texting me because they all know I'm in New York, which I am, New York State, but I'm 3 hours north of New York City, where all the fun is. And people who aren't familiar with New York State think that they hear New York and they think New York is the whole state, when it's only a small fraction of it. Let's see. I find it easier than making Fallout 4 mods. I make player homes, followers, and gotten into rebuilds for towns. Tricky part is exterior nav meshing. Yeah, that's the one thing the older games have over this, is that the world space edits don't break the game. And that's why I very rarely make world space edits anymore. I only add things. I don't change things, because that opens up a whole world of issues with having to regenerate the pre-combines and the previs, and then you get into conflicts with other mods that regenerate optimization for the same cells. I don't want to deal with it anymore. So if I'm making changes to an exterior space, I'm only adding things. And I'm trying to add things in places that are out of the way and nondescript, and which hopefully this will be. So we have our on state. I'm going to duplicate that, move that up in Alt scroll to get the off state. And I don't want those to be the yellow. These are built from the machine kit, so we have several options for material swaps on those. Hey Adama, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Long time no see. I think it's been less than 12 hours ish, 12-ish hours. Good to see you, man. That's right, you're on vacation. So what I did, let's kind of backtrack here. In the render windows option open here, hit the dash key. You can get the back action window. This saves you a lot of time, so I'm going to do a material swap on both of these at the same time. Click set material swap. You come down here. The machine kit material swaps all show up, and I've been making these light blue 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter. They all look the same to me. Hit that, click do, and just like magic, they've both changed to be the same. So we'll set those there. And I'm going to leave these separate for now. Eventually these will occupy the same XYZ space, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And same thing with the on-off states for the lights here. Now there might be a better way to do this, but this is the way I've always done it, and it works, and it's simple. So we'll link all these to an enable marker and set the states, and then we'll change everything to the same XYZ axis. Yes, it's tile. This is I know Adama's played. You played Point Lookout, right? From Fallout 3. Adama missed it, so for Adama's benefit, we'll show him the Ryman's bunker cell from the New Vegas version of World of Pain. This is what my player home mod is. It's basically a recreation of Ryman's bunker. I'm recreating a lot of the assets, the textures, recreating, because these tiles are from the lab kit. Yeah, the lab set from Point Lookout. So basically, for those tiles, I've retextured the subway tiles. The subway tiles from Fallout 4 and just applied into one of the vanilla wall kits as a material swap. But yeah, this mod uses a lot of assets because it's a New Vegas mod. It has access to, it uses a lot of the Fallout 3 assets because they're all part of the same game. But this is what my player home mod is going to be. It's same layout. A lot of the item placement is exactly the same, or as exact as I can get it. I'm taking a few liberties. It's not going to be a carbon copy because we don't have a lot of the assets, like the Enclave containers here. Oh wait, I do have Enclave containers. Yes, I do. We have Enclave trunks, courtesy of Khalib Gaddafi. We've got Enclave crates. We've got the utility doors that open and close just like in New Vegas. And we've also got the mainframe computers in the terminals, just like the old game. Because, yeah, Khalib Gaddafi is letting me use a bunch of his assets from his Enclave mod. We've got the Enclave chair and the table, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, this is a recreation of those lab tile textures. The wainscoting here, I've replicated that. We'll take a look at that in game. And the wall texture here. Whoops. You probably remember this from some of the dungeons in New Vegas and Fallout 3. The blue and the tan with the peeling paint. I've replicated that. and I found about 3 or 4 different unused floor tile sections that they're in the Fallout 4 assets. They didn't make it into the game. So we're going to be using those. And this set of tiles here too. We talked about that earlier. It's basically based on some of the vault tiles, but I've retextured those. Made those look all gnarly and stuff. So we've got our assets. Let's go take a... Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch over to the lights here for a second. I need to get coffee. And then we'll go plug in some lights. We'll figure out what lights we want to use. But just give me 1 second, guys. I'm not going to pause the stream or anything. I'm just going to turn the mic off. I'm going to go grab some coffee because it's very important. I'm running low, and what I have left here is cold, so that can't stand. I will be right back. Coffee time. Okay, we have the coffee, and I actually have a cookie because I'm getting hungry. I should have eaten more before I started, but I was lazy. And Ventureson says, I hope Xbox gets Frost. Oh, I hate to break it to you, but you'll probably never see Frost on the Xbox. Frost is pretty much done. Mod Author is pretty much done with it as far as I know. And it makes too many changes to the world space. It breaks precombines all over the map. Those would need to be regenerated. And your performance on the Xbox would tank. With broken precombines in the entire map pretty much, you would get horrible performance. It's just not a console-friendly mod. In its current state, if it was ever developed a little more thoroughly and optimized better, you probably might see it. But right now in its current state, I don't think you're ever going to see it. Okay. And since Adama's here, this is a perfect time to do these lights because you gave me that very nice shout out in your Kellogg House video about the light switch script thingy that Fading Signal Final Render used in his Kellogg build. Well, that's what we're going to do right here. I've got my on-off states for the lights. I got on-off states for the light switches. And we're just going to go and pick some lights now. Did I turn my markers off? I did. I am not going to use these lights here. Let's get rid of these lights. Now, I put my lights on their own layer so that I can... see what I mean about the hitbox on these lights? They annoy me. I go to hit the... go to select the actual light, and I get the static mesh for the for the lamp instead. It's annoying as hell. Alright, so I put all my lights. This is my layers palette. I put lights on their own layer, the light boxes, effects, especially the effects. If you've ever opened the cell in the CK and you want to click on, oh, I don't know, I want to click on this crate and see what mesh this uses, and you end up selecting something called Dusty Dim Round. Yeah, it's because you're actually selecting one of the fog effects markers. And just turning off the markers, they're still there. So what I do, and it really gets in the way. You can hit your 1 key twice to temporarily disable them. I mean, it's not disabled in the game, just in the render window. But I find if you put all the effects on their own layer, it's a much easier time because you can just hide the layer. Actually, we can see right here. This is what I'm talking about. These guys right here. This is the Mist Large Round Dusty Dimmer. And if you've ever tried to select anything in the cell and you keep hitting those damn things, you put them on their own layer, you hide the layer, and bam, they're out of your way. Layers are one of the most... People complain about the CK. The Layers palette is one of the best things that they ever... One of the best new features that they've added to it. It's just like working in Photoshop. Or Illustrator, if you've ever used those. Use the layers in that. You can hide things, you can... It makes it very easy to put things on their own layer if you want a whole bunch of stuff parented to an enable marker. Like if you look in... what's an example in the game? Vault 81. That room that you get, when we did it last night in the stream, once you finish the hole in the wall quest, you get that room with the bed and the bobblehead stand that's really kind of blah. As far as I remember, all that stuff is on its own layer, and it's parented to an enable marker, so when you hit that quest stage, it enables the stuff, disables all the other things. It's a really easy way, if you're working on a cell, to group things together, turn them on and off, isolate them from the rest of the things in the cell, so that you can actually select things without interfering with stuff you don't want to. Layers rule, in short. Let's see. Lights. Let's pick some warm lights. So we just had the warm light 1, which I thought was a little too orange for me. Actually, I'm thinking of using, there's these museum lights here that I've used in the past. They have more of a grayish brown, almost a whitish gray. I might actually try these. Museum Bounce Warm 4. They're not as orangey as just the default warm. My default warm 3 is, yeah, they get, I don't want that. So I think we're going to use some of these museum lights. Now you look at, there's the 04, just the warm 04, that's going to be the shadowed source, which we're not going to use. We're not going to put the shadows in here because, like I said earlier, that'll tank your game. If you use too many shadow light sources. The NS is non-shadow. NS non-spec is non-specular, which means they won't reflect. Like if I put one of these in here, I'll show you the difference. I have my light layers selected. So right now we have, I actually have lights over here. Let's get rid of these. Lights in the turlet. You guys remember Archie Bunker? Instead of saying toilet, he said turlet. Alright, Ventureson, I appreciate you stopping in, even if it's only for a bit. I always appreciate people stopping in and saying hello, even if they can't stay for very long. So, you have a good weekend, good rest of your day. We'll catch you next time. And I see I got a little bit of a gap here in this door. Let's fix that. Actually, let me turn... yeah, there's a little bit of a gap in the door here I want to fix before we get... Okay. Let's just fix that here. Real subtle little shift there. That's more better, like Moira would say. Okay. We'll turn that off. So here's your warm. And you can kind of see it's reflecting off the door. You're getting a reflection of the actual light source, which you may or may not want. It's not going to bother me for this room. I actually kind of want that, so we'll probably end up using that. But if you put the non-spec in there, you don't get that. It's just the light, which means it doesn't interact with the specular map of the textures. The specular map is what the spec map on the textures is what determines the glossiness and the shininess of things. This kind of ignores it. The non-spec lights kind of ignore it, which I like using these as accent lights, which I'm probably going to actually use this in like the bathroom. Or not the bathroom, but in the stall here. Just as like a fill light. In case the main lights here don't give enough light for what I want, I might use some of those just to kind of to fill in the dark areas. But for now, oh, did I? Yeah, I did it again. I meant to delete this. Got the damn lamp. Yeah, see, looks like I'm selecting the light, but if you look here, I'm selecting the sub because of the damn hitbox on it. Oh, I hate these lights. Okay. So I should be able to, yeah, I'm doing the alt scroll. Let's try these lights out. Let's see how this works. So I'm going to put one there. Oh, the other thing I want to do is I want to add a light beam effect to this. So there is a little bit one built into the mesh here, but I'm going to add another one. Just to accent that a little bit more. So I'm going to add that there. And I am going to tone this down. The default vanilla lights are way too high. I hate vanilla lighting. Absolutely hate it. It's way too bright. Your lights always default to 1. I'm going to start this off at like 2. Point 2. Actually, you know what? Let's make it 0.3. We'll make it 0.3. And then we'll duplicate this. Slide it over here. So we'll start off with those and see what we get. Oh yes, it's speculum and specular are very different. Very different. Whoopsies. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll leave it at that. They're very different. One of these things is not like the others. So I just turned my effects layer on, and we've got this dusty dimmer poking in from the adjacent cell, so I'm going to select that. We'll hide that by hitting the 1 key twice. And we should be able to come over here, filter beam. I'm going to go to movable static. I want to add a little additional beam of light coming down. These do have a little bit, but I want that to be a little more pronounced. So I'm going to add light beam thin short from movable statics. And we're going to scale that down. Alright, Ventureson, you be careful out there. Take care. Catch you next time. I've actually got to... Put that on the wrong layer. Yes, I did. Are those on the lights layer? Those are on the lights layer. Yeah, I had the wrong layer selected, so let's put it on this one. No. Come on. There we go. That's what we want. We want the effects layer. So scale that down. We'll put this up here. So these will also be parented to that enable marker so that they aren't there floating when the lights are off. Because if you turn on, if I disable that, you can see there'll still be a beam floating there. So we're going to want to parent that to that enable marker as well. Duplicate that, slide it over to the other light. And that's a little bit off there still. There we go. That's close enough for government work. Hand got hurt from a bear. Hand got hurt from a bear. What kind of job do you have where you're dealing with bears? Damn. You be careful. Alright. So that's set. I think we're okay to go start parenting things. Well, I can tell you right now, these areas are going to be too dark. I've got the shower and the toilets. I think I am going to want to put a couple of those filler lights in there. So let's do that. I'm actually, before we do that though, I want to turn off these, I have another one here in the way. Yeah, all these effects are getting in the way here. So let's go get the stuff parented that we have. We'll set up our enable marker first. I'm gonna go activate my enable, my markers layer here. Set that to active. So we'll come back over here, we'll filter for enable. And you can use pretty much any marker. Like, you've got, you can use like an X marker. I'll show you the X marker here. Honestly, it doesn't matter which one you use. You can use just a regular X marker if you want. I'm actually going to use an enable marker just to keep everything consistent. I tend to use those so I know that it's actually parented to something that's enabled or disabled. Before I knew these existed, though, I would use X markers. It doesn't really matter. But if you have a lot of markers that do different things, it's just more of a matter of housekeeping more than anything else. Keep your shit straight. So we'll just dump that down under the floor so it doesn't get in the way while we're working. And we are going to give this a reference editor ID name. Been prefixing everything in the mod with outcast. This is going to be called the outcast outcast hideout. The outcast hideout. And it's going to be a backstory that the prior inhabitants were former members of the outcasts in Capital Wasteland. You guys are familiar with the outcasts from Fallout 3. It's going to be a story tied into them. Although they're not going to be the outcasts that were in Fallout 3. They're going to be outcasts from the Brotherhood after Maxon took over. Because when Arthur Maxon took over the Brotherhood in the Capital Wasteland, he brought the outcasts there back into the fold, and they became the Brotherhood. So it's not too... I don't think it's too outlandish to think that the people that were supporting Elder Lyons and his daughter, they became the outcasts because they were diametrically opposed ideologically. So these outcasts are going to be refugees from the Maxon coup, let's call it. And they fled north to the Commonwealth, and we're living here. So everything in the mod's prefixed with outcast. We're going to call this outcast bathroom light to marker. Now you don't have to give your markers editor ID. I do, just because it's easier to use these as properties. You can just use that as a property instead of having to go in and manually select the reference. And then we're going to set this to initially disabled because we want the lights to be off by default. We want the lights to be off by default, so everything's going to be parented to this. This is going to be set to initially disabled, and then we're going to play with the enable state of some of these items in just a minute. For now, let's use our little happy batch action function here and try and select some of this stuff. I'm doing this now because I want to get these, I want to turn off the effects layer because it's kind of in the way. I have to get in. You know what, let's do the lights first and then do everything else. I'll hide the lights because these are, I forgot what a pain in the ass these things are to work with. So I've got all 4 lights selected. We still have to move those to occupy the same space. Hit the dash key, shows I have all the references selected. We want to use set enable parent, select, bam. Now I could have gone that name that I just added here, I could have grabbed this. So let's cancel that. We'll do it this way. Show you guys kind of why I did that. Select those. Now, if I just gone and selected that reference, they'd all be parented, but we're going to do it this way. This is why I like adding names to things. Set enable parent. Now we're going to filter. We're going to put that name in the filter box, and we're going to select our cell, the outcast home, and there it is. It just shows up, and I can just hit do. Now those are all parented to that. If you're parenting something to either another cell or another part of the cell that you're working in, I could have, if I knew this filter ID and the name of the cell, I could parent something to something in another cell without actually having to go load the cell and select it. That's why I tend to add these ref ID names, because then I could just dump them in the filter box, select the cell, and bam, they're just right there. It saves a lot of time. And before I hide these, I want to change the enable state on these, which you can do with the batch action, but I prefer to do it this way just so I know that I have them set up properly. Let's go over to open that up. Enable parent, and you see that we've got our light marker set. Now, you want to, for doing this, you want to add pop in, because by default they do that fade in, fade out when they become enabled. You don't want that. You want a quick switch of the on and off state. So we're just going to do pop in for that, and we're going to leave this because these are the on state, and when that marker becomes enabled, we want the on state items to come on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave that the way it is. For the off state, this is the off light. We're going to do the pop in, but we're going to set this set enable state to opposite of parent. So when that marker is disabled, these will be enabled. And when that marker becomes disabled, these will flip-flop, and these will disappear. But you want those to be set just like that. And we'll do the same thing over here. Now you can set the opposite of parent state in the batch action window. I just prefer to do it this way if I'm only working with a couple items. Actually, I don't want that for that one. That's the on state. Just so that I know that they're all set properly. Because if I do it wrong, then I come in and it's like, oh, when I turn the lights on, they all disappear, but when I turn the lights off, they're all on because I've screwed something up. And we're going to set pop in for that. Synchrony is looking for 3D renders. Oh, okay. Well, I'll pass the word along, but I'm the only person I know of that does any of this goofy stuff, so... Alright, before I disable these lights and hide them, get them out of the way, let's set these up to get the same XYZ position. So I want these all in the same position so that when they turn on and off, they all look like they're just turning on and off and not switching meshes. So what we'll do is we're just going to do the old copy-paste the coordinates from one to the other. Okay, so there might be a better way to do this, but this is what works for me. That's how I've always done it. Always willing to learn something new and different, but it just works, and it doesn't really take that long. And I know it's done the way that I want it to be done. Some scripting gurus might come up with a script to do all this, but I just trust my Mark I eyeballs. So now what we have the on-off states of those occupying the same space. Exact same space. So if I hide that one, we have that one. But we're just going to hide all these right now. Get them out of the way. Yes, it just works. Now, I don't have my meme set up. I could play Todd saying all of it just works, but I don't have my meme set up here, so I got to fix that. Because the memes are fun. So for these, we're going to do the same. If I can get the damn things selected here. Let's do the lights first. And then these. Is that selected? Let's see. Yes, it is. Well, we have the two lights and we have the two beams. So we're going to do... Oh, actually, this is because I don't have that on my clipboard anymore. So since we're here, we're just going to come down here and do it the old-fashioned way. Select reference and render window. Bam. Because I had copied and pasted all those coordinates, so I didn't have that in the clipboard anymore. So now those are all parented. And I'm going to turn off the effects marker because we're done with that. Alright, so let's go do the... Actually, while we're here, we'll copy this. Where are we here? I just lost myself. Oh no. Alright. We are looking for the switches. Go and add those. Get those parented. Select the cell. Those are done. Let's do the on-off state for these as well. Okay, so that's off. We want that to be opposite. And the on, we want to leave the same. Oh, what I should have done is do this. If you're gonna... One thing, another little time saver, and I always forget to do it. So I just switched from the Enable Parent tab, and then I closed up the window again. When you close the reference window, it goes back to whatever the last one you had open. So what I try to do is, if I know for this process, if I'm going to go to the 3D Data tab, I'll go to that and close it, so that when I open this one up again, do the other one, it's already there. But sometimes I forget, and I end up having to do a few extra steps anyway, because I'm a genius like that. So we'll do our... Oh. Can't talk and chew gum at the same time, apparently. I thought that hang on a second. Those Z spaces are off. I want those both at 107. So that they match all the others. There we go. So, those are parented. Now, I think we're going to need a few more lights in here. And let's go back to the lights layer. Because right now, this is looking a little too dark to me. We're going to need... Especially, because there is a barber chair over here. I have a barber chair. So you're going to need some light over here for your character. I may actually end up putting another lamp over here or something. Like a table lamp, wall lamp. I'm not sure yet. But for now, we can always go and add stuff later on. I'm going to add a few more of those non-spec lights. Just as some filler. Actually, let's do this. Let's filter for museum warm. I'm going to go back to lights. And we're going to keep using this... let's use the museum warm non-spec number 4. Pull that up. This is just to get this started. I'll definitely be going back and tweaking a lot of this stuff later on. Make that 1.5 for now. It's probably not going to be bright enough for a barber chair, but we'll see. We'll go try it out. See if it needs to be tweaked. So those are at 30. I'm going to bump this up a little bit. I don't want the rooms to be too bright. We'll make that 18. And then we'll just keep duplicating this a few times. Get one in the shower area. And while I'm thinking of it, is this the light marker here? Yeah, that's the hallway light. Let's copy this. Okay. I don't know that I want to have each toilet stall with one, so I'm just going to put this up here for the time being. I usually go through a couple of different rounds of the lighting in rooms anyway, so before I'm happy with it. This is good for starters, though. So let's just go and select all these lights. We'll get those parented to the marker. Enable parent. Alright, those are set. And we don't have to worry about the enable state for those because we want those same as the marker. And it's worth mentioning that light sources do not fade in or out. They're just on or off. So doing the pop-in, you can't have lights. I think they just pop in. There's no option for that. So if you do pop in on those, it's just going to ignore it. I think they just pop in by default. You can't have them fade, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's good for now. So the last thing in this little puzzle is we are actually going to... Oh, I know why I moved that, because it looks kind of odd mid-tile like that. So I am going to drop this back down. It just looks weird in the middle of the tile like that. So let's just make this 104. Back to what it was, I think. Okay. So then we got to get a trigger box that actually turns the lights on and off. A trigger box has the very simple toggle script switch that I did a video on a while back. And it basically just does things enable and disable. Now there is a vanilla script that kind of does the same thing, but it's basically tied to a trigger. Like if you walk in a trigger, it enables an item. And depending on how the properties are, it'll either enable or disable an item when the player walks into the trigger. It kind of does the same thing, but this is actually tied to an activator. What I just drug in here, this orange box, is I used the default empty trigger, duplicated it, gave it a unique name and reference ID, and attached my script to it. It's just super, super simple script. It's got one property, the marker that we just set up, and it has a sound on it. The activate sound is just the vanilla toggle. There's like a little electronic toggle light sound because I'm not really a fan of a lot of the sounds the Fallout 4 has to use for stuff like this. That's the best one. It's fine for what it does, but in my game I substitute all those with the sounds from Fallout 3 because they sound much more cool. So, two things when you're using trigger boxes like this that you want the player to activate with. The most important one is to come over to the primitive and hit player activation. Because if you don't check player activation, you can't interact with it. It doesn't exist. You can walk into it, you can do whatever you want, but you won't get the dialogue prompt to actually do something with it. Oh, and the other thing I did too was by default it'll say activate. Box here, activate text override, I put on off. So this is basically what turns the lights on and off. The script is tied to the trigger box, and we're going to set up the property for the... and since that's on the base item, come in here, set up the property for this, and there we go. So now we just have to scale it down. Now obviously you don't want to attach your script to a vanilla base object because that would be bad. But if you're duplicating items, making your own that are unique, and you're doing multiple of them, like I'm probably going to have a good dozen or so of these, it makes sense to just put it once on the base item, and then you don't have to add the script to the reference 12 different times. Because now all we got to do is get it scaled, and we can go see how it works. But I think we're going to need more coffee before we do that. Alright, that's probably good. I can always futz around with this later. Alright, I initially had one of these shell. I think I had this cabinet, or a cabinet over here, but I just thought it would get in the way of NPCs or companions pathing through to get into this toilet stall here. And kind of, it just didn't look right with the light switch there, so I'll probably put a poster or a sign or something there. Leave it clear. So that when I go to test with Piper, she doesn't have any problem going to the bathroom, because I swear to God, every player home I've tested with her, every cell, the first thing she does is she goes and finds a toilet. And these toilets are actually functional. These are animated toilets by Bruce142. They're up on the Nexus as a modder's resource. And the lids flip up when you go to sit on them. That lid will actually flip up. And that's as immersive as I get with the bathroom stuff. He'll say, "Ah, you should make your Mac compatible with CWS." I don't get into bodily functions in my game. Sorry. The animated toilet seat's as far as I'm gonna go. But yeah, Piper likes toilets. So all right, it's coffee time again. Let me grab another fresh cup, and we'll go test this out, and then we'll see what we're gonna do next. Be right back. Okay, I got coffee now. I lied when I said that the toilets are as immersive as I get with the bathroom. I forgot that we also have the immersive toilet paper that is rolled the correct way. It's literally just flipping the mesh around in Nifscope, and that's it. And I added the player home ruin texture to this, so it's not pristine. But yes, we have immersive toilet paper and animated toilets, and that's as immersive as the bathroom stuff gets. One thing just as I hit the B right my little break screen there, we have to set up a light box in here. We need to set up a light box. Otherwise, our lights are going to bleed through the wall still. I don't want that. That makes me cranky. So, I need to turn on the markers. I already have all these other rooms set up with light boxes. These white. Click on one of these here. The white boxes. And you can see all these white lines emanating to the center of the box from the light sources. That means those are linked to the light box. So any light that's set up as a linked ref to the light box will not show light outside of the light box. It's kind of the whole purpose. So you won't get the light bleeding out into the hallway from the workroom here. So we have to do that for the bathroom. Hey, Gandhi Ace, how you doing? Welcome to Hello Kitty Island Adventure. No, we're not playing that. Actually, I want to leave these off here for now. We're just doing a little playing around in the creation kit, setting up some lights, and we're going to do a light box right now. So what you need to do is I do have my light box layers set, so I can turn those. Let me show you guys here. Reach over to my light box palette, toggle that layer on and off, because those things can get in the way too. So, and I have it set to the active layer, so this new light box we make, that's where it's going to go. I get a meme of person selling toilet paper in dime bags. Or that a couple of the mods that are out on Nexus now, stocking up on toilet paper. You can craft toilet paper for your settlement. Oh boy. Get excited. I actually was able to buy toilet paper last week. I didn't need it. I have about another week's worth. But the fact that I've been going for almost 3 weeks now, and the shelves have been bare and I actually saw toilet paper, it was like, yes! Victory! And I didn't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to the store. It was like 4:30 in the afternoon and they actually had toilet paper on the shelf. I was like, oh wow. Did they cancel the apocalypse? Hey, Legionary Hunter, how you doing? Modding feels like a goddamn college degree. Yeah, tell me about it. Let's see. Let's see. Alright, light box. We have the layers set, so we're going to just go up here and set this little icon here. Create a light box. Bam. So we have the light box created, but we are not done because it's partially in the kitchen. It doesn't cover the entire room, and none of the other lights are connected to it. When you're generating a light box like that, you select one light. It won't let you do it for all of them at once. And we have to go back and add the other ones. But through the miracle of batch action, that won't be too bad. Well, let's turn off these other ones here so they don't get in the way. Now, one thing I found, I love these utility doors that Khalib Gaddafi made. They are a little challenging with light boxes with adjoining rooms because they kind of want to show up. So I'm probably gonna have to do some fidgeting. They end up kind of poking through, and what you end up with on one end of it is the middle part here shows up as all black because there's no light that's hitting it because of the light box poking through. So they do take a little bit of fidgeting, but oh my god, they're so worth it to have those in the game. So what we need to do is let's get the positioning set up first. We'll just scale this down. I'm actually going to put this... Before I do that, where's this other one? End up here. Alright, kitchen one. And this one can go. I just want to make sure that the kitchen one wasn't poking through here. Yeah, if I COC into the cell, the first thing you notice without the light box is the light be bleeding all onto this corner here from the bathroom, and we definitely don't want that. And we don't want that going through there, so we're just going to pop that back a hair. This will probably need some tweaking as we go along, so that looks good there. We'll bring this out just a hair more. Oh, yeah, that's too far. We don't want it to poke through that other wall there. And we don't want it to poke through this wall here either. Let's turn that one off. We don't want it to poke into the next room, because that would be bad. Immersion ruined. Alright, so that's good. We can probably bring this up a hair. I don't think it really matters, but just to make them around the same height as the others. Okay. So we got the one light linked. Let's go and give this puppy a name. Cast bathroom, something nice and original. Lightcast bathroom light box. Copy that. And you always want to save, because you don't know what kind of surprises the CK is going to throw at you. You'll end up losing the last half hour of your work because you haven't saved anything. I'll select our lights. Actually, which one of these is linked? Okay, so that's the one I don't need. All the other one needs to be selected. So let's go and do that. Make sure we don't actually select those damn hanging lamps. Is that all of them? It should be all of them. So we can come back out here. Batch action. We should have... Yeah, there's our other warm bounce NS, and there's all the 4 non-spec. We don't want to enable parent for this. We want linked ref. Light boxes need to use... the lights get set up as a linked reference, so... we'll do that. And then we'll come down to cell, pick our light box, and then very important, otherwise it won't work, you have to add a keyword. And you want to do light, just type light. And the only keyword that begins with light is lightbox link. That's the one you want. Select that, hit do, bam. We just hit all those 5 lights are now set up as linked references to the lightbox. So we should get no bleeding into the walls. Let's just double check here. And you can tell that they're linked reference to the light box by the white line. When you select the light source, I think we're good. I think we are good. So we can turn off the light box layer. I think that's set. Save. Now we can go and check this out. But before we do that, I actually have to quit out of the New Vegas GEC because for whatever reason, every time you launch Fallout 4, it crashes. So we'll just Fallout 4 crashes the GEC. All right, Chris, appreciate you stopping in, man. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to stream for. I'm going to need to get lunch probably soon. I think we'll probably be done within the hour, but we'll see. But I appreciate you stopping in, man. Catch you next time. Always good to see you. Hey, Fred Blues, how you doing? Good to see you, too. Just in time for us to go test out the lights that we just set up in the bathroom here. So, I think that's all I need. We can hide this. I'll probably open up the GEC again in a little bit once we get back in. I'm gonna turn this down just a hair. I don't want the music to totally go away, but I think it's probably a little loud. Alright. We'll load up Fallout 4 COC into the cell. Give you guys the first glimpse. Watching episode 22 of Bad Luck and have a pertinent question. Okay? And let's see. COC right into the cell. And nothing in here has been optimized at all. I mean, the mod's far from being done. The optimization is the last thing I'm going to do. But so far, I haven't even, because I don't have all the clutter in here yet either. Performance has been perfectly fine. Now you see how we got, here we are in the lounge area here. This is like the kitchen lounge. I've got these two desk lamps are on by default, but they have the same toggle switch. They're set up the same way as the lights that we just set up. Now you see how this is bleeding through the wall here? This is what the bathroom would have had if we didn't set up that light box. Yeah, see I have all these bright lights in here, they bleed through. So, we will go and check our happy little bathroom light here. Fallout 4 version World of Pain, does it have a different name on Nexus? There is no Fallout 4 version of World of Pain, actually. World of Pain has versions for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. There isn't one for Fallout 4. If I said there was a Fallout 4 version, I was an idiot and misspoke, as I often do. The same way that I call Diamond City Rivet City or Rivet City Diamond City. Yeah. World of Pain does not have a Fallout 4 version. So everything is off. The light switches are the off state. We've got our up. Aha, see? See? This is why you test. One of those, I screwed something up. One of those lights, it's off. But let's see what works here. Yeah, see what I say about those those naval parent states. I could have. You watched me. I could have sworn that I set that one to the right one, but apparently I didn't, because you turn it on and it's there. So the off one has the wrong enable state on it. We'll have to go and fix that. And we got our bathroom with our immersive toilet paper and our immersive toilet. And you can see that the toilet seat is up. And if you watch Piper, when she comes in here and sits on it, the lid will actually animate up and down. It's pretty cool. And the barber chair, make sure we have light over here. This is a bit brighter than I want it to be, so I'm going to adjust this. But I do want light over here, so that when you're over here doing your character, you have plenty of light to choose a new hairstyle. But yeah, we got to go fix that marker. Sink works. Storage works. And yeah, we got to go fix that, and then I think we'll be done for the... Oh, let's test the light box here. Let's make sure we got... Oh, that animation is so beautiful. So we got nothing coming out. Let's turn the lights on in the kitchen. Let's see. Maybe I actually said Fallout 4 and I meant to say 3 New Vegas, Fred. So if I did, apologies. I tend to do that. The brain knows what word it's supposed to say, but the mouth doesn't get the memo and something different comes out. But like Adama said, I am doing a very large mod, working on it. I'm taking a break from it to work on this one. That's very much in the same vein as World of Pain. It's about 40... Right now it's almost 40 interior cell dungeons, very much styled and influenced by World of Pain. So, but I'm taking a break on that to work on this, which this mod, talked about at the beginning of the stream, is based on a cell from World of Pain from New Vegas. It's basically a recreation of Ryman's Bunker from the New Vegas version of World of Pain. We played that. Yeah, we gotta go fix that light. But that's why we test. Let's go fix that light, and then we'll go do something else. I want to give you guys the quick tour, but I think we're gonna wait. We're gonna take care of the light switch thingy first, and then when we come back in, we'll give you the nickel tour. But we have the do have the shower that works. Gives you the +2 charisma boost, and it does show up as an effect in your Pip-Boy. So you'll get that for 8 hours. Nice +2 charisma boost. Now this is a character I just COC'd in from the main menu, so all the stats get set to 1 except for charisma. 8 hours later, that'll go back down to 1. Ignore this one question, slaps comment section. No worries, man. It's very possible I misspoke. I tend to do that when I'm playing Fallout 3. I have this habit of calling Rivet City Diamond City, and people make fun of me for it, as they should. Alright, let's go fix that light there, because that annoys me. Every time I set up a room, I do that. And I end up having to go back and fix it. So, that's a quick fix, though. We don't need the markers on. We can turn those off. And it was the off state. Let's get into our enable parent here. Yep, so that one's correct. Let's go hide that. Hey, John, how you doing? Yeah, I could have sworn that I set that, but maybe in my random babbling and not paying attention, we didn't do that, right? So we'll fix that, and then let's go back in and test that out. Launch up the game again. I'd say almost every time I do this process, I miss one. But I could have sworn I checked that. How much have you missed? Oh, let's see. 2 hours of me, almost 2 hours of me setting up a lights in a room that usually would take me about 15 minutes. That's pretty much what you missed. All right, we'll turn the lights on here.
Gotta find the card.
Yeah, you'll need a card there. So this is when you first enter, it's kind of a lounge kitchen area. Our objective is the bathroom, and I think I see a light. I see a light. We have a light. And I think it just works. I think it just works now. Let's turn this off again. Yep. It just works. And that's beautiful. Alright, so... Actually, the light in here isn't too bad. I'm probably going to tweak it a little bit. Let's turn my ENB off. Yeah, see, with the ENB, I freaking hate vanilla lighting. No matter how dark you make the lights, the vanilla lighting just overblows everything. I just can't stand vanilla lighting. So I try and strike a balance between ENBs and at least the ENB I'm using for this, which isn't very dark to begin with. A balance between somebody who's using an ENB and the vanilla lighting. And no matter what, the vanilla lighting always comes out to be way too bright. But, oh well. John says, Bash double fuselage B-251 ordered the 700 model of the IG and Aoshima. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're keeping busy with the modeling. For about 10 seconds, I thought, well, if I ever get, there's quarantine, if I have time, maybe I can get back into modeling. But you can see what I'm doing with my time. This is it. What little free time I've been having, it's been this. So, modeling is not going to happen. All right, so light switch works. Oh, let's turn this on. Let's go into the hallway. Is that shadow? Okay, I think that shadow was just on the... Yeah, that's just on the chair here. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that my light box wasn't up too high, but that's actually shadow on the stool there. Alright. And, yeah, we have no problem there with the light bleeding through. There's the hall light. And there's that beautiful New Vegas wainscoting that I mentioned earlier. How it looks like it's actually has bumps and ridges on it. It's perfectly flat. That's just the shadowing in the normal map does that. But yep, there's our New Vegas wainscoting, as it should be. Sleep 15 hours a day. I'd rather do the modding and modeling than sleep these days. What the hell was I gonna... Oh, one other thing we want to test is let's turn off this one. I want to test the light box on the door here. Okay, there's that. That works fine. I'm gonna make sure we're not running into that black patch. And let's close the door in here. Maybe I tested this already. No, I think we're good. Because what happens if the light box isn't through the door properly, you'll get this where it says caution, the center part will turn black. And that's what takes a little futz. I just love these doors. Oh, that's so awesome. These are going to make the mod so much better. Alright, let's one other test. We'll turn out these lights. And then I want to test the light box here. What? No, I think we're good. I think we are good. Yep, we're good. Alright. Bathroom lights are done. We can quit out of this. Alright. So, the one last thing I'm going to do for the bathroom right now is add some of the fog effects. So, I'll turn the effects layer back on. Hit the right key. There we go. So, I don't know what happened with this one here. Why this one's cockeyed. Doesn't really matter, but I must have hit that at some point. I didn't want to. So I'm just going to drag a few of those fog effects in there. And we can call the bathroom done for now. Movable static. Oh, we got to do a filter for dusty. I'm going to put one of the dusty dim kind of in the middle. How to handle your metal boxes, small railing further away. I kind of gave up on that because the time I was spending on it was better spent doing other things. I haven't given up on it. It's just I haven't been in the frame of mind to get back to it. I'm sure that there's probably something I could steal off another mesh, like the metal boxes in Fallout 4 have. Do we have one in here? I don't actually have them in here. I don't think I used any of the metal boxes. Or did I? No, I didn't. But I think that's like a relief. I don't think it's actually part of the mesh. I think it's on the normal map. So, I'll figure it out eventually. I haven't forgotten about those. But by the time I get around to it, somebody else will probably come out with them. Which is fine. Let them do the work. As long as I can use them. And if I can't, if they come out with a mod, I'll just mod them into my game myself. But that's the kind of thing I would like to include in the mods that I release for other people to use. People that want the old school assets in their game. What I was thinking of doing is I have that mod I did that replaces the, or for myself, just a little. No, actually, I don't want this one. Hang on a minute. I replaced the toolboxes, the red toolboxes, with the Capital Wastelands old school ones. I kind of would like to do a little patch for that and put out. Just no time for love, Dr. Jones. So put a patch that somebody has that Capital Wasteland pack installed. It'll replace all their toolboxes. Because I know that there's probably other people that would want that. But I did mine differently. I just unpacked the assets from theirs. Because I'm not going to use, because it's all workshop stuff, which I'm not going to use. And the toolboxes are pretty much the only thing I wanted right now. I just unpacked those and put them into their own mod and replaced them that way. But I can't do that because that's their asset, so I can't upload. I would have to make a patch that uses theirs as a master and do it that way, and it's time I don't have right now. I think that's good. I don't want the bathroom to be too foggy. Did I turn this? Oh, I turned it off. Let's turn the markers off. I think that's good. I can always come back and tweak this later on if I need to. That's fine. Just a little bit. A little bit of something in there. Alright, so we got the bathroom set up. I think it's going to be lunchtime here soon. You know what? I think there's a couple other things I want to go... Oh, you know what I want to do? I know what we can do. I wanted to go and add a terminal. I want to lock this door. I want to have this door locked, and you have to unlock it by a terminal that's going to eventually need a password, I think. Let's go set that up. And then we'll go take a run through the mod, because I'm going to need to get some food here soon. I kind of wanted to stream longer, but I'm getting hungry, so I need food. So let's set up this locked door with a terminal, and then we'll go do a walkthrough. I'll show you guys what I got done so far. We'll do some testing. And, yeah. I think I'm going to need more coffee before that, though. So, actually, the New Vegas version of Ryman's Bunker, which is, again, what this mod's going to be based on. These lab doors, it's called the lab, and I'm recreating the signs, although they have much cooler vault signs. I'm just reusing the vault placards, and I just retextured them with the names of the rooms. But I'm keeping the rooms the same as the cell in World of Pain for New Vegas. So the workshop room, the workbenches is the equipment room. This is the lab. Those doors were actually locked, and there were 2 terminals that you had to unlock them. But I'm not going to do them. Initially, I had that set up that way, but it was kind of a pain. It didn't make sense that they would be locked either. So I still have a terminal there. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. So these aren't locked right now, but I do want to have this door leads out this hallway, which is, it's basically, there's just nothing in it right now. But this is the load door that will bring you out to the Commonwealth. This is the beginning of the main entrance. It's not the way you come into the cell the very first time you use the mod, but it will be your main entrance in and out, unless you fast travel. Because once you leave the cell for the first time, you'll get a notification that you can fast travel. It enables the ability for you to fast travel, and your spawn point for that will be right where this X marker heading is. So you'll get a map marker outside. You actually have 2 map markers, one for the entrance, and another one that's actually your fast travel point, but it actually spawns you inside the cell at that marker. So this door here, you need a key card, which you'll need to get into the other entrance, which we'll go over later. This door will be unlocked by this terminal. So if you go to the exterior door for the first time without coming in through the cave area first, which we'll go over, it's locked. You get the, oh, I need a terminal to open this. And the terminal's right here. It's this guy right here. This unlocks this door. But I want to have this locked with a terminal as well. So we'll do that. And then we'll go test. And then I think that's going to have to be it because I'm getting hungry. So this is pretty easy to set up if I don't screw it up. There's a couple different ways you can do this. I used to do it an old kludgy way with a script fragment. One fragment would unlock it, one fragment would lock it, and then I realized, oh, there's a vanilla function for that. That you don't need to do any of that. I think this is... Nope, that's not this one. This is the one that I actually have the old method with the script fragment for the exterior door because I have this. I have it do other things. I actually have things tied to a trigger box that gives you the map marker. I won't go into it because I can't remember exactly how I had it set up offhand. We're going to use this one right here because I already have this set. Is this the one? No. Where is this? This one. We'll do this one because I already have this set up. So, if you're ever in the game and you go to a terminal that you have to go to a door that's locked with a terminal, you have to go to the terminal and you get that. It's like a not the mag lock one because those are for activator doors. There's this native door lock unlock terminal. It's basically an actual terminal, and it takes some getting used to if you're not familiar how the terminals work. The menu options, if you think of it as like a web page, a menu option on this terminal will basically be a link to another terminal. So like if you're on, let's say you're on the Nexus homepage and you go to like the forums tab, it links you to the forums. It's a completely different site, but it's a link from the main homepage of the Nexus to like the Fallout 4 forum or any of the game or the game Nexus. Like you can go from the main Nexus site to like the Skyrim Nexus, the Fallout 3 Nexus, the Outer Worlds Nexus, whatever game you want, it has its own site. Well, the terminals are set up kind of the same thing. You can add display text down in here, which will be menu options. You can do script fragments down in here, which will do things. But you can also have it linked to another terminal. And that's how you get a lot of different submenus for different functionality. And this is a vanilla one. This native door lock unlocked has all the scripting you need to actually unlock the door that we're gonna work with. All you need to do is set up a linked reference with a keyword from this terminal reference to the door. Oh, and you have to lock the door, obviously. So we're just going to use this. First thing we'll want to do is go up to the door, and we'll hit lock. Lock tab. Locked requires terminal. So now that will say, when you go to interact with it, requires terminal. And I think I can probably... Well, let's drop the terminal in first. I have to put clutter on that shelf. That's going to have a sorting container there. Hey, Brad, how you doing? So there's our security terminal. I already have this set up for something else I think I might do, but we'll use this one. I may want to go and change the wording here. Make sure that the markers... You know what? I think I'm actually going to use the embedded one on that. That takes up a little bit of space. Let's not use that. There. Just the alt scroll brings it to the embedded one. Yeah, the embedded one, that sticks out too far. And with the shelf and with NPC pathing, I can see that might be a little... I don't know. It just looked wonky sticking out like that, so we'll use the embedded one. It does the same thing, I think. Let me go take a look at this. Yeah, this is already set to the native linked lock unlock. So this should work. I've already used this for something else. Native door lock unlock terminal submenu. So if you come into the submenu here, you have the option. You can select all these different every other terminal that you have, all the vanilla terminals and any terminals that you create for your mod will show up here. But you want the native door lock unlock terminal submenu because this is the vanilla terminal. It doesn't actually have to exist anyway. It's just, well, it might actually be like in a remote cell someplace. I have no idea. But you can link to any terminal in this menu. And whatever functionality is set up on that terminal, you'll see in this terminal that's on the wall here. I'm not going to lock this now so we can test it, but this will probably either need a password or you'll have to hack it. I haven't decided yet. So we have that set up, and then we go to the linked ref, and then we'll just select our door. And we want to do the keyword. And for this one, it's link terminal, and then we can just scroll through because I can't remember exactly what it is. Link terminal door lock unlock. That's got to be it. And hit OK. And then that little purple line there that you can see, that means that that's a linked reference now. Might put one on the other side. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's duplicate this one. Just drag it over. And we'll just have to set up the linked reference again. Once you duplicate something that has a linked reference, that the linked reference doesn't carry through generally. I've never seen an instance where it does. So you'll have to go and set this up again. It's no big deal. So now we should be able to lock this. Like, we unlock it, we'll come through, we should be able to lock it back up if we want. For immersion. Alright. So now, let's go in. We'll give the whole shebang here. We'll go, let me show you guys real quick here. Reader's Digest version. We all know how my Reader's Digest version go. I just loaded up another cell here. This is the Outcast Cave. Now, in World of Pain in New Vegas, Ryman's Bunker is connected to Ryman's Cave. And you have to go through Ryman's Cave, fight through some enemies. I think it's basically like the giant rats. I don't know if there's Mirelurks or I'm sorry, Lake Lurks. I think it's all the rats. You have to fight your way through that, find a key card to get you access to the bunker. This is kind of going to be the same thing. Now, this is just rough. I mean, I just literally plopped everything in to get the structure for the cave. Eventually, this will be a full dungeon cell with lighting and loot and enemies and all kinds of fun stuff. But this is the door for the bunker over here. If I can zoom in a little bit faster. This is, again, Gaddafi's awesome assets. So you'll have that nice old school bunker entrance there. Probably will have a terminal there, but this is the load door to the player home. So once you come through here, you do what you got to do. I haven't fully fleshed it out yet, but you'll probably need... there is going to be a key card that you need to get, and I haven't decided where you're going to actually get that yet. But you'll probably have to get a password for a terminal here, or hack it. The same thing on the one inside that we just set up. So where this is located is we're going to COC over to Abernathy Farm, because the actual player home is located between Abernathy Farm and Sunshine Tidings. And the door near the terminal that we just set up, if you come out that door, the load door, you are literally looking over, is it Walden Pond? So it's that dam that is out just outside Sunshine Tidings, that big long dam that goes across that ravine. On the Sunshine Tidings end of it, there's a random encounter zone. There's either raiders or one of those Mr. Gutsies with the curfew. Wants you to obey the curfew. It's on the other end of that. So that big long dam, that's where the load door is. But we're going to go to Abernathy Farm because it's not far from there at all. I can't believe this game, how close things are here. So we'll load up the game. I actually got to turn the music off. So we'll go to COC to Abernathy Farm. We'll go run through the cave. I'll show you guys that. We'll go in. We'll go check out our new light switch, test our terminal, give you the nickel tour what I got done so far, and then I gotta go get lunch. Tap, I just saw that you asked like 15 minutes ago what ENB I'm using. I am using, for this, most of my games I use Decent Plus. I apologize for not seeing that sooner. I use Decent Plus. Let me just tab out of here and pause the music for a second. One of these days I'll set up my Stream Deck to do that for me. And now I have to go and get the chat menu back. There we go. But I use Decent Plus for my ENB. Okay, so we're going to go to Abernathy Farm. And it is conveniently located right outside the cave entrance. It's not right outside. It's pretty damn close, though. That's where I wanted a bunker. Yeah, when I was setting that up, Adama, I remember that conversation we had. My first choice would be to set it up on that end closer to Sunshine Tidings because there's already a door there. There's already a door frame there. But I don't want to set up a player home right outside that random encounter. You come outside your house, and there's that Mr. Gutsy waiting there for you. I didn't want that, so I set it up on the other end. It's almost the same, it's just I had to create the doorway. I'm going to TGM because right near the cave entrance, there's like 4 bloat flies. So, and you can see there's a couple, the compass there, right where I'm facing. There's that little circle with looks like a teardrop or drop. That's a sewer marker for the cave, for the actual entrance to the outside. We'll go check that out first. We'll go to the cave. Actually, the cave's closer. So there's Abernathy's. We'll let them be. Turn God mode on because I have running the death claws out here, and there are some bloat flies right by the cave entrance. But yep, there's Abernathy Farm, and I'm just amazed at how close this is to Red Rocket and Sanctuary. I didn't realize it was. But everything on this map just seems so damn close to each other. All right, so there's this ruined bus here, and right over. There's like 4 bloat flies right over there, and here we are. There's the Outcast Cave entrance. Just a nondescript little door. I'm probably going to do some shrubs and stuff to hide this a little bit. I don't want it to be too obvious. But there is a map marker for that, and there's 4 happy little bloat flies over there. This is locked. Right now it's advanced lock, but we'll take care of that with a console command. So if you head down the road here, there's another map marker shows up here. There's the dam. And I hear... Oh! We got something going on down there. That random encounter zone. Oh! I don't think they were shooting at me, but we got flames. Right where those orange silos are, where my little cursor dot is, that's Sunshine Tidings. And right down here is the Outcast Hideout entrance. And,
Gotta find the terminal.
yeah, you need the terminal. So you can't just come here and get inside. You gotta go through the cave into the house and unlock the door that way. Who are they? Raiders! Yay! We'll just, we'll let them keep on raiding. But yeah, I think one of the optional upgrades I'm gonna have you be able to build from the terminal, the mainframe terminal, are some bubble turrets. Maybe a couple there and a couple over there. You'll need a whole bunch of oil and steel to do it, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So that, keep those raiders away from your digs. Alright. Yeah, on my laptop, Adama, it puked on me earlier. I had to refresh, so it's just YouTube. YouTube being YouTube. Alright, so this goes into the cave, and I got a little bit more work to do on this here, but just to get the thing set up and tested, so we're just going to unlock you. And if you're, I just recommend it in general, but especially if you're working on mods, install the console name fix so that you get the actual name of things you're selecting. Because they took it out of the game for whatever reason. Every other Bethesda game that has consoles gives you the name of what you're selecting, but not Fallout 4. Alright, so here's the entrance. This is probably going to be changed. I'm not too keen on the concrete right now. This is just what I have set up. But no lights. I don't have any lights in this part of the cave yet. But here's the first part of the dungeon. There'll probably be like a... This is like a little skull I put together. I'm actually using this in my Commonwealth Underworld mod, one of the cells, and I'm repurposing it here. So this will be filled with all kinds of fun stuff for you to go through. And I think the cave ambient sounds are the same things that they use in Skyrim. It sounds exactly the same. The rocks rumbling and shifting. It sounds just like Skyrim. So yeah, there'll be things in here. I haven't decided what there's going to be yet. And here we are in the main entrance. Actually, I'm going to put the music back on. Bear with me 1 second, because there's no music in the cell here yet. Okay. So, there we are. It's the end of the cave. Oh. Sorry about that. Too many windows. Too many things blocking the chat window. Okay. So, here's another one of those wonderful load doors. So, you go inside. Again, this is probably going to be locked either with a terminal. It's going to need a keyword, or a password, rather. But you will need a key card to get inside. And this is the first thing you'll see in your new digs. Is this wonderful, overgrown cave section. Yay. This is exactly how Ryman's cave entrance is set up, more or less. It's almost exactly the same thing, except where I have a sentry, or I have a protectron, there was a sentry bot, because there's no sentry bot debris assets in Fallout 4. So I went with the protectron. So we've got that goes back to the cave. We have all these wonderful little ruins in here. Everything's almost exactly the same. Almost exactly the same. Except for the sorting container. You will have a sorting container out here in case you decide you want to come this way. For testing purposes, I have there's a key card right there because there is...
Have to find the card.
Key card there. One of Khalib Gaddafi's doors I turned into an activator tied to the card reader, so you need that. But yeah, this is the entranceway, and you run the card through the card reader. Opens the door, and here we are in that kitchen area. You can turn the lights on, and we'll just close this back up. Close this up. So here's kitchen area. Oh, I just saw something that I got to do. The Nuka-Cola sign should not be there. That's where your Nuka-Cola display shelf is going to enable once you activate it. And that sign should be tied to the enable marker. I will have to fix that. Because it's definitely not supposed to be there clipping through the shelf like that. So when you build the shelf, on lack of a better term, you build it, you activate it if you have the components in your inventory. The shelf with all the stuff on it will disappear, and it'll be replaced with a shelf you can put your Nuka-Cola, Vim, Gwinnett beers, and pretty much any drink, I think, work on that. I have to go check the script, but yep. So this is the lounge area. The bobblehead shelf will activate here. Replace that. It's going to be another one of those cabinets that I made. It's just like the vault locker cabinet, but it's going to be a bobblehead display stand. Just some random books and whatnot. Kitchen area. Working light. Food storage. Sink. The fridge will, just like every other, well, not every other, but most of my other places. 6 hours. There's a script on that. 6 hours. Beverages that have ice cold equivalents will be there. Nuka mixer station. Underworld, Commonwealth Underworld is... I'm taking a break from it, John, to work on this. About 3 weeks ago, I finished up the third cell in a row. And the first of those three was one of the largest cells in the mod. It took me about a month and a half to finish. So I'm taking a little break from it. Once I get this mod done, I'll go back to it. But I need to walk away from it for a while. Because that's what you got to do. You take a break. So and here's the bathroom that we just fixed. The lights on. Those all work. And we've already seen this. So like I said, none of this is final. And this definitely is not final. This will be sleeping quarters in here. And there's one of Khalib Gaddafi's Enclave crates, which I've repurposed as a high-tech crate. And you'll be able to grab some stuff there. But right now, this is set up exactly like Ryman's bunker for in World of Pain. And I'm going to try and keep as much as I can. Make that similar, but I am going to put a bed for dog meat in here someplace. I just haven't sorted out where things are going to go in here yet. And then you come through this door here. You go into the hallway, which I think we took a quick look at earlier. There's a Nuka-Cola vending machine, where with pre-war money you can buy Nuka-Cola, Vim, or a random Nuka-Cola flavor. But I don't have any pre-war money right now, so there's that. This door here brings you back to the quarters, which again is just there right now. And this goes down that way. This utility door here, this is the security room, which is where we have one of those wonderful old school terminal and mainframe computer, again from Khalid Gaddafi, his old school assets. Just some basic clutter in here. You will be able to come to the mainframe terminal. And this is where you're going to be able to activate all those options like the bobblehead shelf, the Nuka-Cola display shelf, magazine racks in the turrets. I'm probably going to add the turrets to the outside, so you'll be able to opt into having the turrets out by the main door. But it's just so freaking cool. I love having these old school assets in here. The Enclave chair and the desk. Also from Khalid Gaddafi. Dust lamps, you can turn those on and off. That one's on by default. And the electronic storage. Not that we have a lot of electronic stuff stored, but if you want to store stuff there, that's that. And here's our happy little commissary terminal. We took a look at our vendor in that lonely little cell earlier. So this is just an activator with a script that enables his barter menu, and all this stuff is tied to his vendor container. So the vendor container with just vanilla leveled lists. So if you're using a mod that injects things to like the weapons list, the armor list, those will spawn in his list as well, because it's just vanilla vendor lists. So all that stuff should spawn there. More another high-tech crate. We have more assets out here. And coming down this way is the reactor room. Does Nexus do streams? No. Nope. Just downloads. We have this room here. This is the reactor room, which right now it's just for show. But there is... I retextured the Vault 111 reactor because it was too bright and shiny. Yes, Brad. Yes, you did. That is exactly where I got the idea from that from, and it's set up the exact same way. I think the first time I used that was my Coastal Cottage bunker. And I actually went in the Lonesome Road and see how they did it. And it's basically they set up an NPC in a different cell as a vendor, with a vendor chest. And it's just a script that opens up his barter menu. And that's all it is. But yep, it's taken directly from Lonesome Roads. Exactly. Or Lonesome Road, rather. So this is essentially set up the same way as the reactor room in World of Pain is. So... I would look, if model stream, I would look at doing it on Twitch there, John. They have a whole makers, arts and crafts category on Twitch. And I know that there's people there that do, I haven't seen any, but people do all kinds of creative stuff on Twitch in that, I think it's like arts and crafts or makers category. I would look at Twitch to do that. I think that's a cool idea. Water cooler that actually gives you water, purified water. The utility door here goes to the equipment room, which is where your workbenches are going to be. We looked at that in the CK before. Yep, there's those. Well, there's the wainscoting textures in game. Those look pretty cool. And here's the other New Vegas Fallout 3, the facility texture, the facility kit. That's what those are called. So. Those are there. The armor racks are going to be... I'm going to set up a terminal here that you can toggle those between male and female, like other homes that use them. Your ammo, weapon, mod, explosive storage, melee weapons, clothing armor lockers here as usual, the gun cabinet. Your weapons will get sorted in there. Your ballistic and your energy. And, of course, the cryolator case. You'll be able to put your cryolator there. Sorting container will sort it there, and correlator reference will enable once you add it. We can actually go try that out, because I have all the QA containers in here too for testing. Weapon stands, you'll be able to put your heavy weapons up there. And have to check the walls for hidden doors and sentry bots. I'm not telling. There's the auto dock. It's basically just a retextured Pulowski shelter. Khalib Gaddafi actually has a really cool looking auto dock that's very old. You know, again, it's an old school asset. Which I may use that, but I'm tempted to keep mine. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but you'll be able to come in here, do the healing, the removing rads, and the detox yourself. And like I mentioned earlier, I've redone the detoxification part of the script for this, so that it will also cure the dark craving with the cannibal perk and any addictions added by mods, where currently my other player homes that use this don't, and I'll have to go update those at some point. And yep, the door automatically closes. Water purifier, that's nothing new. We've got that in my other player homes. It will purify your dirty water. Surgery chair, which we obviously need some lighting over here. So you'll be able to do all your surgery here. Give yourself a new face. And again, the clothing locker and the weapons locker, those are all linked. So there's a clothing locker and armor locker in the workroom and the bedroom. These are all linked. So if you're in the bedroom and you want to change your armor, you'll be able to access it from there. Same thing with the clothing. The gun cabinet is linked to one of the other room. Do you have any opals for the CK you'd like to share? I have never actually used opals, Blue Rogue. Hello, by the way. I did use a set by... I started playing around... The Fallout Miami team, actually, if you look in the modders resources section on Nexus, they have a bunch of their opals in there. And I was starting to use those in my Commonwealth Underworld project, but it's hard for me to get into a new workflow. And I started playing around with them, and I've gone back to I have in my mind what I want to use, and I pretty much know where they are. It's just quicker for me to do that. I think opals seem to be better for exterior world space. I don't know. They've never been part of my workflow, and I'm very hard to break habits, so I haven't actually started using them yet. But look under the modders resources. Actually, if you just search for opal from the Nexus homepage, I'm pretty sure it'll come up. And they have instructions on their page on how to bring them into your mod. It's pretty easy. So this will be. There's another chem station over here. Obviously, all of the workbenches have linked storage, so you can come over here and do your crafting. This is all very. I haven't touched anything in this room yet, other than just dropping stuff in. Although the other night I did. Oh yeah, we have more ammo. These are all linked to the ones in the other room, so you can put ammo in the other room and come in here and grab it. And then there'll be clutter here that will enable once you get it. There's a sorting container. I did add these cool little weapons racks the other night. So if you press the security gate button, you can come in here and access the weapon racks. And you put your weapons on there and close it back up. And that's just done with the simple elevator. The simple platform helper. There's actually a pack-in. I did a video on this, on using the elevator, the platform helper things to make elevators and sliding panels. I have a video on my channel tutorial. I actually just used, there's a pack-in with that stuff all wired. It's all wired together. You just literally have to drag it in, swap out the assets that it uses, and it's basically done. The only thing I had to do, if you go with that, it's called platform. Hang on a second. Let me just jump back to the CK real quick. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? And I just realized why my game seemed a little laggy, too. Because I'm streaming from the desktop audio, or video, not the actual game capture. Let's swap this back here. Since we're talking about the platform helper free thing, I want to show you guys. It might make more sense if I actually show you. At early, yeah, I started at 10 my time Eastern, and we're just doing a quick tour of the player home thus far. We got a couple more things to test out, and then I gotta go get some lunch. I'm starving. Cookies and Oreos don't carry it very far. The simple elevator pack in. If you use this one, which is basically all I did to get these gates, I just replaced the reference for the elevator with the security gate, which just scaled down, and I have my own mesh that I modified. One of the I think it's the button. It's called a what the hell is it called? Those little lifts that you get outside, like the gunner encampments and your Grey Garden, that you take up to go to the overpass to get the power armor in your Grey Garden with the right vertibird. Those little yellow buttons with the red dot. That's all this thing is here. Is I basically just took everything but the button, retextured it with a different color glow map, and I think that's like, I think the disc is, I think it's an Assaultron pod base or something. I don't even remember. And I just substituted these red rocket buttons for that. If you're gonna do this though, what you need to do on the let me close this up. On the elevator master is, if you want the sound like I have the sound on the security fence when it goes up, you have to go into the linked refs and link your what you're using as your platform, in quotes. Link it with the Link Custom 5. Otherwise, you won't get a sound. You'll come in. This has the script attached to it. So you come into the scripts, go to the properties, and then down in here where it says the sound for platform, you can define a sound for it, but without the Link Custom 5 keyword, there'll be no sound. So that's the only thing you have to do that pack-in doesn't have. And if you want to set up an elevator or platform or anything sliding like I just showed you, it's like 5 minutes worth of work. All the references are all linked up. You just have to move things around, replace the references with the things that you want to use. And if you want your platform to have a sound, just add the Link Custom 5 keyword to the linked ref. And that's it. That's literally it. Alright, we'll jump back in the game here. And I thought my game seemed a little laggy, and that's because I am not using the game capture. I noticed some stuttering when we were outside. That's because I'm streaming off the desktop in the game. This is much better now. You guys may not have been able to notice it, but I sure as hell did. This door here goes back out to the hallway. We just saw the reactor room there. So you can do a whole loop through here. Whee! And you come back out to the hallway this way. So there's 3 power armor stations. Again, those are all linked. This won't be in the mod. This is just here for testing. There'll be no power armor in the mod. You have to supply your own. Fusion core charger. Well, guys have probably seen this already. Works just the same as in the other mods, except this one's just going to be here. This isn't going to be anything you have to buy or build. It's just going to be there. Power armor storage, or parts storage. Once you enable this, once you have power armor parts in here, you'll get some clutter on the shelf. And these won't be in here either. These are all the QA chests from QA Smoke. Yeah, these aren't going to be in here. These are just for my testing. Where's the armor? So if I went to get some Brotherhood power armor parts here. For testing my sorting script and all the shelf clutter and everything. Hey, look, we actually got power armor spawns on the shelves. You take it out, it goes away. And then, here's that. Same thing. Yeah, I spent like 10 minutes trying to figure out why the hell there was no sound on this, and I loaded up another mod that I use this on, and went and looked at the elevator master, and it's like, oh yeah, there's that other keyword I gotta use. Derp. Alright, so, this is the door that we just set up in the creation kit.
Terminal's gotta be somewhere.
And hopefully I did this right. Hey, Sinopus, how you doing? So, security terminal. Aha. This should not happen. I did something wrong again. It should not be getting the duplicate like this. We should not be getting a duplicate like this at all. I had this problem before, and I don't remember what I did to fix it. But let's just make sure that this actually works. And it does unlock the door. Yep, it does. Okay. So there's something on this terminal. I got it. You know what? I might actually have the wrong terminal linked. Let's go here. Yeah, see, this one's right. All right. Let's go do this. Let's go change that, and then we'll come back and test it. And then we'll finish up. I don't like leaving things broken. But yeah, this is the thing. I've actually seen this in the vanilla game. If you go to the lab security door override, it literally takes you to that terminal, and that's what that native terminal door lock unlock that we linked this terminal to in the CK. That's what this is. But you should not be getting the two options here. This should not be happening. This happens in the door when you leave Fort Hagen after taking care of Kellogg, and there's that door right before the Pridwin music starts, or right as the Pridwin music starts. It has the two options, and it always trips me up because it's not set properly. It's not set to the right terminal, and I don't remember exactly how I fixed it on the other ones, but we're gonna go take care of that right now, just to make sure that this works the way I want it to, and then I'll figure out what I did, and I'll put the embedded terminal back in here. But yeah, I've seen this in the vanilla game. It's just because it's not linked to the right terminal, and I want to go fix that. But I do want the embedded there because I don't want... Well, maybe it's not so bad if it sticks out. You know what? We'll try it with the other one, because that one just works. So let's switch back to the desktop. Quit out of the game. Go back to the CK. Actually, let's take a look at those. All right, which one is this? Because this one, because I ran into this problem when when I initially had these doors locked, and it was blowing my mind because I have 4 terminals and doors in a Commonwealth Underworld cell set up the exact same way, and they just work. Native door lock unlock terminal submenu. That's exactly what this is set to. Actually, let's do this. This is terminal 01. That one's correct. And this is the one that we just used. Native door lock unlock terminal submenu. Yeah, I don't understand what's so different about this. Terminal lock unlock submenu. Lock unlock submenu. They're the exact same thing. Exact same thing. So I'm not sure why it's still doing... Because I use that... You know what? I used that terminal on these other doors. And it didn't do that. I initially had that same embedded terminal set up over here, and it didn't do it. Let's try something then. If this is still doing it, then we're going to have to... I'll just figure it out later. I should be able to just sequence through. Yeah. Yeah, it works. It's just annoying that it doesn't just work. Okay. Alright, so we'll just save those. And just double check. They should still have the linked ref on it. Yeah. Terminal lock. Just want to make sure that I'm actually using terminal. Yeah, that is the keyword that you need to use. So, all right, we'll get it sorted. I just want to see if switching those. But I know those other embedded ones worked because I had one set up here and then the other inside of the other door, and they worked perfectly fine. Although it shouldn't make any difference whether it has a reference editor ID or not. It shouldn't make any damn bit of difference, but we'll go try it out. What I'm going to have to do is we'll load the game up. Alright. Whether this works or not, we're just going to test it out, see what happens, and then I'll show you guys going outside, down the hall, and outside, and then I'm going to have to call it there because I got to eat. I should ate like an hour ago. But I want to keep going. Let me switch sources here. The screen might go black for a split second. If I stream the game off the desktop video, which is the only way I can get the CK into OBS, the game stutters, and I have to switch sources. Let's see. So we're just gonna... Oh, it's a 0, not an O. We're just gonna COC right into the... I have the COC marker in the kitchen area. I'll have to TCL outside to get to the... Do I ever stream on Twitch? That's a good question, John. I don't right now, but I have been thinking about doing some Twitch stuff. I think it might be a good audience over there. There's a lot of people streaming Fallout 4, and I've thought about it quite a bit. I think that's been holding me back is their bandwidth limitations. Whoops, that's the wrong key. They only... I got a TCL out of here. Go get the key card. I could just spawn it in, but it's easier just to go and get this. The thing that's keeping me from streaming on Twitch is their bandwidth limitations. They only let you, if you're not partnered with them, they throttle your bandwidth to like something like 6,000, and I stream at like 10. My stream, I'm outputting 10 upstream right now. I could go even higher, but I think it isn't necessary. For, I have the overhead to stream higher, but 10 is plenty. But I've been thinking more and more about doing stuff on Twitch. I just want to get the same stream quality that I seem to be getting on YouTube. Like, I want to do 1080p, 60 frames a second. Pretend I know what I mean. I am. I just don't... I see a lot of people streaming at 720, and I don't want to stream at 720. Because I can stream at 1080p, 60 FPS on YouTube, and I don't want to degrade the quality of the stream on Twitch. So I am going to go do some testing, though, and see how that works out. Yeah, see, we're doing it. So it's something with the door. Either I don't have the keywords set right, or there's something. I'm going to have to play with that. Because if you come over to this terminal over here, could I multi-stream? I've also looked at that. There's Restream IO, but I'm hesitant to do that again because of the bandwidth issues. And then I have to manage 2 chats. I don't know. I don't know. I've thought about it. I've briefly looked into it. But it's a matter of getting the time to test it, set it up, and make sure it's going to do what I want it to do. And then managing the multiple accounts. And I haven't gotten into it yet. So yeah, there's something with the link to that door. So I'm not really sure. YouTube is bumping others on lower algorithm. That wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I know that if you want to become partnered on Twitch, you can't stream anywhere else. You're stuck to Twitch, and I don't care about the affiliate thing. I don't care. I'm not in this to make money or make a name. All right, so we're just gonna unlock this. I'll figure this out later. There's something with the way it's linked to the door that. Hey, DJX, how you doing? Yes, and we're getting ready to wrap up here, too, so you'll have to go back and watch the VOD. So, yeah, I'll have to fix that up. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, I started it almost 3 hours ago, and I gotta go eat lunch. I'm so hungry right now. Yeah, we're just doing a little bit of work on my new player home mod that I talked about last night. These doors are from the Automatron DLC. They are most excellent. Close that up. Keycard. So yeah, you'll need the keycard to get in and to get out the first time. But after that, you won't need the keycard at all. So right now, this is the door that goes out to the Commonwealth.
Terminal's got this locked.
But you got to unlock it. So we'll come over here to the security terminal. And this one you can either lock or unlock, and since it's locked right now, we'll just unlock it. So what happens, I have this set up on the script fragment. So when you unlock the door, it activates... Yeah, movie sign. There's actually a trigger right here that gets activated. And when you enter the trigger, it enables a trigger on the outside that enables the fast travel. marker and message. So once we go outside here, once you go outside, we should get the message that you can fast travel. Yep, you can now fast travel directly to the outcast hideout interior. And it's a little more foggy, but here we are right where we were before. And that door is, we can open that now. But here, let's there's Walden Pond right down there, right down the hill. It's beautiful downtown Walden Pond. The Sunshine Tidings is right down the other end of the dam. And Abernathy Farm and the cave entrance is off that way. So, yep, this is where it's gonna be. And like, can't see it. Well, there's a new icon cursor that showed up, and we didn't have it before when we came over here, but we now have the outcast hideout. So we can click that fast travel, and it'll take us right to the inside at that X marker heading that I showed you guys earlier. And there we are. Right back in here. So that's that. I am going to go play around with that terminal later and figure out why it's doing that again. I thought I had that fixed. That's annoying. I hate it when you fix something and then it breaks again for no apparent reason. You don't do anything differently. Welcome to modding Bethesda games, everyone. Welcome to the CK. Yeah. But I think that's going to do it for the stream today, guys. I need to get lunch. I should have ate an hour ago. Too much coffee, not enough food, and you know what happens with that. But yeah, I hope you guys. Actually, let me drop out of the game here quick. Let's drop back into the CK here, and then we'll end things there. I can show DJX what we've been up to. So there it is. Or when you make something, it works, but not for others. Yeah, there's that too. Like when people say that a fusion core charger never spawns in 2 years of you using the mod, it never happens until you're on a live stream, and then it happens. Yeah, that kind of thing. But this is the cell, and I had the New Vegas Gek earlier. It's a almost exact reproduction of Ryman's bunker from the New Vegas version of World of Pain. I'm making some changes. But the layout's exactly the same. The room usage is exactly the same. It's pretty big. Yeah, it's compact, but it's spread out. Like these areas are pretty big. The lab area and the bedroom area are pretty sizable. There's this little entrance here that has a lot of clutter in it, but it also has some pretty cool lighting and effects. This is where you enter for the first time. There's going to be a cave dungeon that you have to go through to get to the place. You can't just walk in. You have to go through... you have to jump through a few hoops. Let's put it that way. But there's a whole cave cell that there's going to be. But yeah, this is almost an exact... At least the layout and some of the item placement in the room usage is almost exactly like Ryman's bunker in World of Pain, except I've added the second exit here, so this will bring you out to the Commonwealth. This is where we just went this way here, and I'm using a lot of Khalib Gaddafi's assets that he's given permission for me to use, like the let me turn the markers off here. Those beautiful utility doors, and you weren't here to see the old school terminals and the mainframes. Yeah, these are all lit. The animation goes on the mainframes, and I got the old school, the actual wall terminal here. That's an actual functioning terminal. Enclave assets he's letting me use. Chair, the table, and of course those crates. Those beautiful, beautiful crates that glow. They actually have glow maps on the handles. Just such awesome work. And again, big shout out and thanks to him for letting me use all this stuff. Because the mod wouldn't be the same without it. Neither would Underworld. I'm going to be using some of those assets in this too. All those mainframes are so cool. They're so freaking cool. But yeah, we get stuck with these things. These things. This is what we get for computers in Fallout 4. Yeah. Yeah, those are the asset. Those are the Enclave crates. We're going to be using some of those. Yep. They have... You can't see all the glow maps on this. They don't all show up in-game. These have like a nice little purple... I can kind of see... There's a little bit of purple glow there. The handles glow blue. They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But, whoops. It's not what I wanted to do. But that is going to do it for this stream, guys. I need to go get lunch. And then I'm going to get working on this. Try and get some more stuff done before I call it quits for the day. But, yeah, appreciate you guys coming and hanging out on a Saturday. And you guys take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. Be safe. Stay home. Make mods. Play games. Make videos. Whatever it is you guys do. Have a blast. And, yeah, we'll see you, we'll see you next time, guys. I don't know when the next stream's going to be. It's probably not going to be till next Friday. We'll play more of the Fallout 4s. But maybe before then. We'll see what happens. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Hey, Invoker Gray, how you doing? I didn't realize you were here. I would have said hello earlier. Well, hello and goodbye. Kelly, you take it easy, man. It's good to see you. All you guys, appreciate you hanging out. And we'll catch you next time. It's the lunchtime. Have a good one, guys.